Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Tonight, this will be the last show in my Breaking Bad series. You know what that means, guys. We're going to be doing a show on Walter White, the main guy. Now, he's not my favorite character, but he's the main guy. And before we get into the meat of this video, here's a few things about Walter White. Walter White is a damn good chemist. He didn't just teach chemistry at a high school level. He was a chemist at one time. In fact, he was such a great chemist that he could have formed his own company with two friends of his. Unfortunately, he abandoned those plans to raise a family. So we see that and we understand that because there's flashback sequences of those incidents in the show. Now, let's cut to the chase here. At the beginning of the first season, we find out that Walter White has lung cancer, and he only has insurance through the school he teaches at. That's all the insurance he has. It's only partial coverage, that and his savings, which would not even be complete coverage with those savings. So he's only getting partial coverage for his cancer treatment. And this creates a problem because he needs money to treat his cancer, to basically help it go away. He needs to pay for chemo, for pills, medications, whatnot. He just needs to pay for all of that. And he goes into the drug business for that purpose and that purpose only. Now, here's another little angle to this whole payment thing. Other people offer Walter White money to pay for his treatment. Unfortunately, he doesn't take their offer because, like a lot of people that I know and that you'll meet in real life, he just has a lot of pride. He doesn't want to take money from anybody because he feels he might owe that money to people. He might have to pay them back in the future. Then he's a guy who likes to stand on his own 2 feet when it comes to his own cancer. And unfortunately, this is his undoing because of this mentality. He has to keep manufacturing drugs. He has to keep selling drugs. And this causes bad things to happen to him and his family. And he has to associate with all of these questionable people because he chose not to take these people's charity. Now, while he may be self-sufficient when it comes to his cancer treatment and not accepting money from other people, when it comes to manufacturing meth, he always needs Jesse Pinkman. That's his sidekick, that's his buddy. And for some reason, even though he could have manufactured this meth by himself and left Jesse Pinkman in the dust, he didn't want to do that. He needed him around. And I think that was because he was Walter's student at one time. I mean, Walter was his teacher, and they had that kind of relationship, although they never got along, and he never really liked Jesse. This is a way for him to kind of teach Jesse, so to speak, about real chemistry, because without Walter's formula, they would have never had this method to begin with. And speaking of that formula, Jesse was creating very basic, very street-level meth. It was crappy, it was shitty, and Walter told him one day, he's like, hey, in order to make this meth a lot stronger and a lot more potent, you need to add methylamine. And Jesse resisted it all. He said, I'm not doing this. My formula is a good one. This is what my people are used to. This is what they buy from me. And Walter's like, come on, I'm a chemist. I know what I'm talking about. So Jesse, goes along with him, and the results were good. I mean, the meth was stronger and more potent, and it was making a lot of money on the streets of Albuquerque, New Mexico. And it got wind of, or it got the attention of Gus Fring, the drug lord, of course. And Walter was proven right in all of this, but the worst part about it is next to creating a family, a wife and a child, basically, a son, actually, this was his greatest creation. And unfortunately for him, he ends up dying with this meth. Now, here's other aspects of Walter that most people don't realize. Walter, from the beginning, starts out as this normal, regular guy. He's just this typical middle-class guy who lives this boring middle-class life. But as he grows into this role as a drug manufacturer and drug lord, he starts showing certain dark tendencies, and those start to come out when he allows Jesse's girlfriend to choke on her own vomit. Yes, that happened, because she was a drug addict herself, and her and Jesse were going to run away with the money because she thought that Walter was using Jesse, which she was partially right because Walter was a sociopath, and of course he was using Jesse. So, but that scene right there marked Walter's descent into sociopathic darkness, so to speak. He became a different character from then on in that he shaved his hair and he wore that weird straw hat, which that was his Heisenberg hat. He became Heisenberg when he wore that hat. Just like I become the critic when I wear my white critic's fedora. That is it. It's his own little personality change, so to speak. But from then on, he descends into this hell in which he becomes a much different person, a darker person. You see Walter visibly changing before our eyes, both physically and mentally and in a personality way. So you have that. And Walter, unfortunately for him and everybody else in his life, they had to put up with this because his wife left him at one point because she thought, what's going on? He's hiding stuff from me, which he technically was. I mean, come on, when you're manufacturing meth and selling it and laundering the money, of course you're going to keep secrets. You have to. It's life and death. And he eventually gets to the point where he has to go to another state to hide, and he does. But he ends up coming back and confronting his wife and telling her finally why he had to do this, and admitted that he liked it. Now, here's another angle to this Walter White story. Bryan Cranston said that he based the character Walter White on his own father, so that would make Walter White a product of method acting, because Bryan Cranston had to draw him from his own life experiences, from his own father, because Bryan Cranston said that his father was a lot like Walter White, sociopathic, only cared about himself, prone to mood swings. So yeah, really, Bryan Cranston was acting like his father when he was acting like Walter White. In that role, he became literally his father. Very interesting and kind of sad in a way, because Bryan Cranston's one hell of an actor. He puts 100% into every role he is given, no matter what. And for this role, he had to draw on the memory of his father, his very personality, the way he talked, the way he acted towards people. That is an amazing thing, because what if I was an actor and I had to act like my father? That would be a hard thing, but I would try to do it nonetheless. But it's really hard as a method actor because they have to draw out the worst aspects of that personality in that role. I mean, you literally have to cry, you have to yell and scream at people. It's a very intense acting style. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's my Walter White video for you. Hope you liked it. Thanks, like, subscribe below, comment, and good night. No one does it better.